Hornet, couple ball 4-5.
Roger, couple ball 23 knots.
Lineup looks good.
A little lineup left there.
Normal for me. Real nice.
Aircraft operations off United States Navy aircraft carriers are conducted on a scale unmatched by any military power on the face of the earth. Up to 50,000 sailors at sea, supporting flight operations for as many as 700 aircraft. That's not something done unless it can be done right. And facts bear it out that something very right is happening. Over the last 40 years, despite significant increases in flight hours, Navy aircraft accident rates have steadily declined. Improvements in equipment and training are usually given credit. But, in fact, a third element now stands on its own: testing. Indeed, until people and equipment pass the tests, they'll stay on land. One cold cat tells you better than 1,000 words. Nothing else matters until you pass the challenge of flight, known simply as carrier quals. This is the Naval Air Station, Patuxent River, Maryland. Pilots trained here at the Test Pilot School learn to ring out a design or design modification before it gains fleet acceptance. What these pilots learn about the strengths and weaknesses of an aircraft, what it will do in the envelope and out, become the written word for every Navy pilot's NATOPS manual, short for Navy Air Training and Operating Procedures Standardization. In testing programs, nothing will be overlooked. Brute force lies at the heart of Navy aircraft carrier operations. A 600-ton catapult throws a 56,000-pound F-14 down the length of the flight deck in a matter of seconds. Even so, to help that massive cat do its job, each and every Tomcat needs to be in full afterburner to have any chance of launching at all. That means at the top of the cat stroke, you need 46,000 pounds more of thrust alone. Clearly, in matters of Navy air operations, one would do well to start with engines. This is a test chamber capable of holding absolutely still a Tomcat in full afterburner. The maintainers inside the cockpit spool up the engines, go into afterburner, and then back again to idle, all while data are collected by technicians behind soundproof walls. Sophisticated chambers such as these generate operational baselines, thrust and power settings at standard atmospheres and in controlled conditions. Not all testing requires a chamber. Whirling stands mimic spins, turns, and rolls to evaluate engine performance in unusual attitudes. Static stands are essential after an overhaul or major engine work. Foreign object damage, quad damage, remains a constant problem despite improvements in technology and training. Walkdowns on the carrier deck are repeated time and again, and at land-based stations, even the smallest pebbles or bolts are removed. These films show the devastation quad can have on hypercritical turbine blades, leading to engine explosion, or, as the last sequence tragically demonstrates, a loss of power on takeoff resulting in a crash. One of the most important developments in flight safety was the ejection seat. With it, a way out of otherwise unsurvivable situations was finally at hand. Qualifying the ejection seat for carrier ops, though, led to challenges of its own. What happens when the canopy lining comes loose? What about water ejections? Can two pilots punch out without one burning the other with their seat motor? Many of the answers came from sled testing and the high-speed film used to record the results. These tests help answer the questions about pitch. Would ejection be survivable during the pitch up on takeoff or the flare during a water landing? Solutions designed to stabilize the pilot came about after cameras identified excessive spinning after seat separation. Small drag chutes were soon added. Other tests helped document ejection safety during slight yawing motions to the right or left. These high-speed cameras capture the forces exerted on the pilot during ejection. Notice also the explosive energy required to get through the canopy. Of course, even testing goes wrong. In this case, the fuselage module separates from the sled and itself ejects. Testing is as much about theories as it is about necessity. The OV-10 Bronco was designed for rough field landings, and theoretically at least, the design was sound. By necessity, though, a test pilot had to endure the bone-jarring ride to make sure it worked in practice. Another idea with some theoretical merit was the soft deck carrier. This F9F puts it to the test. The idea quickly fell out of favor. Because of our NATO alliances and the use of ski jump decks on Allied carriers, our fleet aircraft test jump takeoffs. More commonly associated with the Harrier, even the Hornet gets carrier qualified for the ski jump. Flutter is as feared as any structural instability, and for good reasons. Harmonic cycles in the flutter can snap apart a fighter jet. Any flight surface can wobble into flutter, although it is more commonly encountered with the tail section. Oddly enough, testing includes tests designed to understand the sequence of potential disasters. This F-4 is exposed to an explosion that might occur on a crowded carrier flight deck. Flight deck machinery, which likely would be involved, is placed in the test area. Researchers record how fast the F-4 burned down, how the chain of events engulfed the fighter. Circumstances similar to these devastated the USS Forrestal and the USS Enterprise flight decks in the 1960s. Gear assemblies have to be particularly rugged to be carrier qualified, and drop tests are the first step in any certification process. Field testing will stress the gear further. This A6 descends on a glide slope almost twice as steep as ordinary. Smoking tires leave little question that a wheel fire might result from a 5-degree glide slope. This S3 Viking comes in hard and off-center, something surely any pilot will do occasionally. The control and stability problems resulting from an off-center lineup will go into the NATOPS manual. Air work is one of the basic routines of a test pilot. Carrier qualifying an aircraft requires extensive air work, some as simple as roll tests, others as complex and demanding as spin testing. Two spin tests are part of every Navy pilot's training. They see the exact same video sequences you are about to see. In the first, an FA-18 Hornet enters into a spin, which evolves into a rocking motion, similar to a falling leaf. The recovery from this unusual falling leaf spin is complete at just 6,000 feet. This sequence is seen through the HUD with actual cockpit and ground audio. Tracker cameras also recorded the event.
Still out of control. Throttle's idle.
What's the altitude?
17,000. Throttles release, speed up the rudder, speed brake in. FC air data. FC air data. 9,000.
Altitude. Warning. Warning.
Coming out, 5,000.
Warning.
Roger that,
Warning.
heading home.
Warning.
Flat spins are almost always uncontrollable in an F-14, and the prospects for a successful recovery are remote. These test pilots recognized the oddity of this Tomcat's spin characteristics, and even though they felt certain their prospects were bleak, attempted every control input in the book to recover. Their experiences were written into the NATOPS manuals for F-14 flat spins.
Okay, recover. It's really wrapping up. It gets flat and really wrapping up. Recover, 6826, recover.
Try full last stick.
826, hit the paddle switch, recover. 20,000 feet. 826, hit the paddle switch, recover. Pull over your rudder. A flat spin. 20,000 feet, recover, left rudder. 15,000. Okay, full left rudder, paddle switch. Okay, they've ejected.
Air work invariably includes refueling tests. Vortices and wake turbulences are seen in these first sequences, and the receiver aircraft pitch momentarily out of control. Although only a few inches across, the hose and the basket can do considerable damage to a receiver. Watch this FA-18 Hornet tangle with the hose at the cost of the canopy over the pilot.
Mark pushover. Ready, ready, Mark pushover. Mark pushover.
The bomb run involves a high degree of precise airwork before weapons release. In most cases, the attack aircraft will invert, push over, enter the dive, roll over to the upright, lock up the target, pickle the weapon, and climb out, as does this F-18.
Cameras on, stand by for release. Ready, ready, Mark release.
Altitude. Altitude.
Cameras off.
Altitude. Altitude.
And arm safe.
The test pilot first flies the flight profile, then flies the run with weapon separation.
Simulate cameras, simulate clear to release. Weapon safe, cameras off. Cameras on, clear to release. Echo observes 1 away, cameras off, weapon safe, right 170. Mark the impact.
Weapons separations can be a beautiful thing to watch, a ballet of its own, dramatized all the more by high-speed cameras. Safe, orderly separations, though, come about only from exhaustive attention to design and then to one drop test after another. Weapons separation testing, like ejection testing, has risks of its own. Chase aircraft give the test pilot extra eyes outside the cockpit should a weapon hang up on the pylon. But in this case, the weapon has tumbled out of control and into the wing of the chase. The A-4 rolls out of control, is engulfed with flames, and spins down towards Chesapeake Bay. Watch carefully, though, and you will see both pilots punch out.
arm off.
Now.
Abort the run. Master arm off. Doors closed.
Up. Now. 6. Now. 7. Now. 8. Now.
Although their mission may be electronic warfare or submarine hunting, the P-3 and the S-3 are each capable of carrying an interesting array of weapons. Even though each of the aircraft may find their need to drop bombs or fire missiles is infrequent, complete workups by test pilots are conducted for the manual.
Skyhawk ball, 3.0 Echo 5.
Roger, ball. Keep that burning. Little power. Little power. Power.
Right, wave off.
Naval carrier aircraft have to be tested on and from their platform, the aircraft carrier. This is the F-14 Tomcat. The pilot is pre-flighting the aircraft, a routine also written up in the manuals. Later, the F-14 will seem small and ordinary as it enters the flight deck environment. Now, though, the cameras give you a good idea just how massive a 50,000-pound fighter jet is. Naval carrier operations profoundly changed in 1955. It was the beginning of the angled deck carriers. Pilots would no longer have to fly into an intimidating wall of parked aircraft as they landed. Instead, they could wave off a bad approach and bolter or go around for another pass. No longer did every landing have to end in a neat trap or a barrier crash. No longer would diving for the deck or holding off be the two most common causes of landing mishaps. Diving for the deck and holding off are tests flown at Pax River. Again, knowing what happens when it inevitably happens keeps the unwitting pilot calm, which makes carrier operations safer. In this sequence, the A-7 dives for the cable, while the F-14 holds off and engages in flight. An invisible patch of turbulence owes itself to the aircraft carrier superstructure, notably the island. As wind sweeps down the carrier deck, it hits the island and other structures, and it is disrupted. The resulting mass of unstable air tends to collect just behind the fantail of the ship, right where it can hurt an aircraft on short flight.
A little bit of a burble right there. Feel it?
It is called a Burble. This F-9F, seen in many movies, was actually a test aircraft carrier qualifying new engines. The Panther has already sunk in the Burble and is clawing for lift. Incredibly, the pilot flew again. Oddly enough, the Burble revealed a design deficiency in the S-3 Viking. Engineers like a jet that is aerodynamically clean. Ironically, during carrier quals, the Viking was so clean that pilots would get low in the power curve, found they were unable to spool up power fast enough to safely fly through the Burble. The Viking was dirtied up to force fleet pilots to keep power up through the approach. Ideally, less than 17 seconds separate each landing. Resetting the cable is a quick process, and deck handlers are ready to taxi an aircraft off the angled deck. This F4's tire exploded on landing. The rim of the wheel then cut strands of cable, requiring a complete replacement. This is a common enough occurrence on landing, a hook skip. This is a hook slap, usually resulting from a hard landing or a ramp strike. The off-center lineup is common too, but undesirable. Notice the stress on the undercarriage and cable in these views. One of an A4, the other a reverse angle of the hook and cable. Of course, also carrier qualified are crash crews, seen here as a T-34 lands gear up at Pax River. cat shot involves relatively simple math. Take the airspeed necessary to get airborne, subtract the airspeed the jet can obtain by itself. What remains is the power you need from the catapult. Then, test all the variables that increase weight or drag. The business end of the catapult is the shuttle. Deck handlers attach the jet using the launch bar and holdback fitting. The holdback fitting snaps when the cat hits the correct power setting to launch. One note of caution, once the launch bar is in the shuttle, the cat is hot. Off the bow, an aircraft has 60 feet of gravy before it hits the water. A little dip or settling after the cat shot is not great, but okay. Pronounced settling, or worse, signifies a cold cat. In the end, how effective a carrier performs comes down not to machinery, but to people. Added together, the countless instant decisions made up and down the flight deck define carrier operations. The strength of the ship, therefore, is its crew, men and women who have met the challenge, and who together make the carrier a potent military asset anywhere in the world.